Night at 10:30 on HGTV.
Welcome back to Incredible Basements. You know, when I was in college, I think I spent as much time at the video arcade as I spent in class. I remember Pac-Man, I remember Miss Pac-Man, I remember Space Invaders. I bet you remember a few of your favorite games too.
Oh, I loved Asteroids. Asteroids was a lot of fun and very addicting.
Star Castle, Tempest, Defender.
My one favorite game was Robotron.
Miss Pac-Man was great. Was it the first feminist arcade game?
I was glued to the Star Wars video game, and when that thing came out, I would play that for hours.
Arcades are always fun. We were the masters.
Now, meet Eric Clayberg, a software consultant from Middleton, Massachusetts, who refuses to leave his past behind. That's because when he gets home from work, Eric can lose himself inside his own private basement arcade. Stepping into Eric's basement is like stepping back into the video arcades of 15 or 20 years ago. There's strobe lights and sirens and all the game sounds you remember. The posts and beams are covered with old video game panels. Eric has all the classic games packed in side by side. They take up his entire 2,000 square foot basement, and they use so much power that he can't run them all at one time.
The games I have in my collection are all ones that actually meant something to me when I was younger. They're all games that I played a lot in the arcades in that era from about 1979 to about 1985. We chose this house because it had a walk-in basement.
It would have been too hard to carry heavy video games up and down the stairs. They each weigh about as much as a refrigerator.
Currently there are 38 video games and 2 pinball machines, and that's about as much as this basement will hold. For quite some time I've been sort of on a one-in, one-out policy with my wife, so if I wanted to ever bring a new game in here, I'd have to get rid of 1 or 2 others.
Eric's arcade contains one of the largest collections in the country, but he doesn't keep the games to himself.
I get a lot of fellow collectors who actually make special trips just to come and play the games. The best thing of all is there's no quarters involved. They're all in free play. You just walk right up, press start, and you're ready to go.
In Eric's basement arcade, you play for free. But as everyone remembers, that's not the way it used to be. The games were real quarter eaters.
My lunch money went straight to the arcade.
We used to actually steal quarters off of my father's bureau.
Mom and Dad, give me money.
It was pretty much why I needed to get a real job at 15.
I love coming over here.
Like many kids in the early 80s, Eric caught video game fever.
Arcades were just starting to get popular, and for a while I resisted playing them. And then some friends of mine convinced me to come to the arcade, and very soon thereafter, Tempest came out, and from that moment on, I was hooked for all time.
Getting good at Tempest was really, really difficult. After a while, you're just kind of going buggy-eyed watching it.
And it got harder and harder and harder until you couldn't do it anymore.
Come on, let's play. Pretty easy game to walk up and start to play, but an incredibly hard game to master. I was able to get good enough that I could take a quarter and stretch it quite a long way. This level 81 or 82 that I'm on right now, very few Tempest players would have ever even seen this. I always won all the Tempest competitions. When I achieved the world record, it was just in my local arcade playing on a normal day, which resulted in 1.7 million points.
You heard him right. Back in 1982, Eric held the world record for Tempest.
The proof of my world record is right here in this magazine. It was in there for 3 months before I was unseated by the next champion.
His collection has doubled in size since he built the house in 1998 and designed the basement for his collection.
This game is called Major Havoc. It's one of the holy grails in my collection, one of the rarest games out there. And as if this wasn't enough, I have another 20 games in here. This room contains sort of my second-tier machines. If I don't turn off the power in the other room when I turn these on, I'm likely to blow a circuit in the house.
Each game uses as much power as a television set. All the electricity is controlled by a central computer.
This game is Galaga. Pretty much every pizza place in America had one of these at one time or another. And Dig Dug is a pretty fun game. The idea here is you're this little guy digging around in the dirt, and you can blow him up to make him explode. Of course, not every game works, like Gauntlet here, which has a broken screen. When these things break down, I usually farm those out to professional because I'm pretty dangerous with a soldering iron.
Eric's Basement Arcade is enjoyed by his whole family.
My young kids absolutely love the machines. My wife is a real saint. She tolerates them pretty well. As long as they stay in the basement and don't migrate up to the first floor, they're okay with her.
I would do anything to have Robotron in my house.
I would kill to have a Miss Pac-Man game.
If I had a choice of having one game in my house, that one game would have to be Asteroids.
If I could only own a Pac-Man game, I'd put it in my basement and I'd probably never come out.
The feeling of being able to walk down into my basement, to my own arcade, is quite a nostalgic feeling. And I finally have the money to realize my dream and recapture a bit of my youth from 20 years ago.
It was Eric's personal vision that created that arcade. You know, some people look at their basement